It is South Africa versus Australia in that second semi-final, which will be played at the Eden Gardens in Kolkata. South Africa finished at number 2 on the points table at the end of the league stage. Australia at 3, both teams with the same number of points. South Africa ahead by virtue of a slightly better net run rate. But at this point, given current form, Zach, safe to say that Australia start hot favourites?
I would say South Africa. I think South Africa is someone who has been playing very good cricket. We've been saying that they are going to be the dark horses of this World Cup, and they've been able to put up a good show. Yes, the game against India was a big blow for them in terms of confidence that way. But Indian team have been beating any other team, so that is something which they can take confidence from. So when you're looking at the two teams right now going against each other, I would say South Africa have got a better chance because the middle order is looking very strong, and Edens will have to see what kind of combination they play. Whether Shamsi comes into play or not is something which we'll have to wait and see.
Ngidi bowled, he wouldn't be too happy with how he bowled in that last game. He couldn't finish his full quota. If he's fit, what would you do? If he isn't, what would you do?
I think I don't think it all depends on the conditions of the ground. You know, when South Africa played against India, it was a bit of a turning wicket where Shamsi did come into playing 11. So if they are playing in a similar kind of pitch, you might just see an extra spinner in South Africa's squad. But no, I agree with Zach. You know, obviously, South Africa has been really consistent throughout their campaign. Yes, there have been few slutters in between where they had to chase the target, but they looked assured. They looked a good bowling attack. They've got an opener who's getting runs. They've got number 4 who's getting runs. So yeah, they are looking a very consistent side. So, but as far as playing 11 is concerned, it all depends on the kind of pitch has been offered to them.
Australia on a 7-match winning streak. In that last league game that they played, they had Mitchell Marsh scoring 177. Remember, Glenn Maxwell and Mitchell Starc did not play their game. So if we could pull up that Australia squad, maybe Zach can tell us how they could fit Maxwell back in. What do you do with that Labuschagne and Smith problem, Zach? Lots of questions to answer.
Yeah, I think that'll be interesting if they actually make that call, because that's one thing. Everyone have been discussing about that. Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne playing together is something which has not been of that much of a help for them. You know, maybe one of the guys, and Steve Smith is going to be the obvious choice there, according to me. And if they're able to do that, that will just give them that more options. More, a little bit of power. Maybe an all-rounder can come in. Stoinis is that guy they can continue with. He can contribute with the ball as well. And Australia's campaign, if you look at it, it's been individuals stepping up at different stages, but they've been getting themselves in tough situations. Yep. So that is something which they'll have to rectify. How they're going to do it, we'll have to wait and see tomorrow. If they're able to crack it, this team obviously have got the experience of being in the knockout games and have done that damage to other teams. So that is the thing going for Australia from tomorrow's game.
Combination for you?
I think obviously Steve Smith starts, the experienced player who's done well for Australia over the years, and obviously you have to get in Mitchell Starc as well. I think Mitchell Starc will probably come in place of Sean Nevitt in this playing 11. But yeah, I mean, it's been the problem for them with whom to choose between Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne. But here, when you're playing a semi-final game, big game, you want to go with an experience, someone who's captained the side, someone who's done well in knockout games. So yeah, I think Steve Smith should probably get nod ahead of Marnus Labuschagne.
South Africa looking to enter their first ever World Cup final. Australia have done it multiple times. They've won pretty much all of their semi-finals so far. Just the one tied match in 99, 2007 as well. South Africa lost to Australia. So lots of history, and maybe this is South Africa's moment to change history in their favour. Players to watch out for this big second semi-final.
I think from South Africa, I'll say Quinton de Kock, because they'll have to start well, and if they're able to do that, it's going to be a great day for South Africa, and that start is going to be very crucial. And for Australia, I think again you have to go for the start. So Warner is someone who you can look up to.
That's an advantage when someone starts first. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
No, I would.
He wanted to have taken both his options.
Both the options you have taken, but yeah, I would say the Kagiso Rabada for South Africa. You know, he's been bowling really well. Maybe a couple of early wickets. If he can get Warner out early on, you know, Australia can come under pressure. And
you're not playing against me, huh?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. And probably Steve Smith. I'm just going with an experience because Zach has taken David Warner. I'm going with Steve Smith.
Who India would be happy to play either of them, right? The kind of confidence India is in at this point. Who would you rather face?
Well, I'll say one thing for sure, that they will be watching the game tomorrow.
Very close.
They'll keep an eye on the game. They'll see what's happening, who is cracking under pressure, how it's evolving. All those kind of things will be the chatter among the players. But yeah, you're right. The kind of cricket Indian team have been playing through and through. I don't think they're thinking about which team they will be playing. They shouldn't be. If at all that they're thinking about it, they should just throw those thoughts out of the window, because they're playing phenomenal cricket. I think everything is falling into place. You look at the batters, there are 4 batters, I'm sure, in that list of run getters. The lowest is 350 plus. You look at the bowling, Shami has taken it to another level, and you have your spinners taking 16 wickets, which are the numbers. When you look back in history, it's the highest number of wickets taken by spinners. So everyone have been contributing. You've covered all your bases. So I think you should just focus on how you can replicate that in the finals.
What's Parthiv Patel's hunch? India versus?
I don't know. It's very difficult, but as Zach said, India shouldn't be worried about who's coming. But I'm seeing India versus South Africa in the final.